Monster, the Attack on Titan X-Mute Listener Fanfic by Mokamaki. Chapter 44. It was dinner time, and we were all surprised to be served meat for the first time in forever. It was all exciting at first until Sasha went berserk when eating the meat. Connie tried his best to calm her down, but she ended up biting into Jean's wrist and punching Marlowe at the nose, as well as Mikasa in the chest. It was amusing at first, but later it grew a little bit concerning. You helped by pinching a certain nerve in her neck that ended up knocking her out. "Whoa, how'd you do that?" Connie asked. You looked at Connie equally surprised and shrugged. You had no idea that would actually work. Sasha was later tied up by Connie and Aaron while you stared at her in slight disappointment. "Oh, Sasha," you thought while shaking your head and smiling slightly. You continued on with supper, and you just stared at the meat in front of you. Something about it made you uncomfortable. Although you wanted nothing more than to sink your teeth into it, you refused to even reach for it and take a bite. And with everything in your memory slowly coming together, you had a feeling you might know the reason. "Your name?" You looked up to find everyone staring at you. "You barely touched your plate. Are you okay?" You quickly nodded and just ate the meat. You had a sickening feeling as you did, but you just tried your best to ignore it. You really need to stop spacing out. They're growing more and more suspicious of you. "Well, geez, they don't feed you here. You're acting like you haven't eaten in years," Marlowe said. "Shut up," you thought while glaring at his direction. And to add more onto your nerves, Jean and Aaron broke into another unnecessary fight. Before you knew it, the two of them were screaming at each other. It went from a screaming fight to Aaron throwing the first punch. A crowd gathered around them as the two punched each other back and forth. Mikasa, Armin, and you could only watch in disappointment as the two threw punches. No matter what, these two were always going to be for each other's throats, you thought to yourself. "Should we stop them?" Armin asked. "No, let them settle it out a bit," Mikasa replied. You hummed in agreement. Eventually, the two grew tired, and Captain Levi ended up kicking both of them onto the ground. "That's enough celebrating. Go to bed." Jean gagged for a moment before throwing up. You cringed in disgust. "And clean that up," Levi continued. "Yes, sir," everyone said as they all dispersed. You began to get up to help Aaron, but then heard a muffled wailing sound. Sasha had awoken and began fighting the ropes. Feeling pitiful, you quickly came to her aid and ungagged her. You also untied the ropes, and she immediately hugged you. "Thank you, your name. Thank you. You are truly a goddess in disguise." You're welcome, Sasha," you thought as you patted her head. You later helped Armin guide Aaron outside by grabbing Aaron's other hand and throwing it over your shoulder. Mikasa trailing closely behind you three. You all arrived outside and sat yourselves down on the steps. Aaron grunted in pain. "I can't believe I'm going to say this, but shouldn't you guys watch out for me more?" he asked as you set him down gently. "Considering how quickly you heal, I wasn't really worried about that," Armin replied. "Some friends you are," he mumbled. You gave Aaron a hard smack on the head. "Ow!" He glared at you. You glared back. "Oh, come on. Don't give me that look," Aaron retorted. "Look, you started it, so don't complain," Mikasa said. "Plus, it's good to see you feisty again," Armin chimed in. You proceeded to swing your legs back and forth, humming a soft tune to yourself. Aaron gave out an emotional speech. He brought his hand up to your head and ruffled it a bit. "Knock it off," you thought. "That's what you get for punching me," he teased. You let out a quiet laugh and thought about what he said. Finding your own strength? You stopped swinging your legs and lifted your hand up. Suddenly, they all stopped talking and looked to see a man that looked similar to Haynes talking with a fellow scout. Your eyes glistened a bit. You remember Haynes. You didn't quite know him as well as Mikasa, Aaron, and Armin, All you really remember is seeing Aaron throw punches at him, and he would just laugh while he was drunk, blocking the punches Aaron threw. Once we retake Walmaria and defeat all of our enemies, can we go back to how things used to be? I don't think that's possible, you wrote in your journal. There's more out there, you know, Armin spoke. The sea. You smiled at Armin. Of course, he still holds on to that dream. That's always been Armin's dream, to see the sea. Remember? A body of water so big that merchants would waste their whole lives and still wouldn't get the salt out. There's so much beyond the walls, not just titans. Armin then proceeded to talk about the sea through different places. It made you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. You would want to see all of those things. Wait, the sea. You felt a shiver go up your spine. You looked forward to it. If you were to go beyond the walls, would you finally remember who you were and where you came from? Armin then stood up. Alright then, let's start by finding the sea. I can tell you still don't think it's real, Aaron, but you'll see, it does exist. Aaron chuckled. Okay, whatever you say. I guess we'll just have to check it out then. That's not good enough. You have to promise. Oh, great. Here we go again. Mikasa mumbled as you giggled. Then, you felt a familiar smell. You looked around as you tried to pinpoint the direction. You found a hidden corner and lifted an eyebrow. That smell. Is that Captain Levi? What do you say, your name? Do you want to explore the outside world along with us? Armin asked as he stared at you excitedly. You smiled and stood up. You let out the loudest noise you could make. That's the spirit. Armin smiled before ruffling your hair. The word soon came down that we'll travel back to Walmaria and retake it. To be honest, you were scared to go back there. It was the same exact day the Titans came and ruined everything. And also, the day you lost your grandparents. You felt tears well up in your eyes, but you quickly wiped them away. You have to be strong. It was what Grandpa wanted. You mentally motivated yourself in your head. Plan to retake Walmaria is a go. I hope you weebs enjoyed Chapter 44 of Monster the Attack on Titan X Mute Listener Fanfic by Mokamaki. If you did enjoy and just can't wait to read the rest, please feel free to visit the link in the description that'll take you to the entire completed series. And if you're new around these parts, please consider subscribing as it's 100% free, takes less than a second, and, most importantly, it makes you a certified weeb 7 days a week. Also, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and leave a comment down below. What are you looking forward to see next? Let me know. Anyway, that's enough from me. My name is Bizarre, and I'll see you weebs in the next video. Cue the outro.
He's bizarre. He's bizarre. He's bizarre. Bizarre steps to his mic to make his little sounds. The weebs jump up and cheer. Hit subscribe and stick around. ASMR most times with Minecraft on the side. Some modded games or Deku there to soothe you when you cry. Go ahead, close your eyes, kick back and put him on, and get even more bizarre through his Patreon. Need a friendly pal to get you through the night? Well, get headphones, take a listen, and maybe hit subscribe. He's bizarre.